As your master of ceremonies and try to help you as we try to get through the event today. For administrative purposes, once we start our panel discussion, if you wouldn't mind putting your phone on mute or turning them off, we will really appreciate that. So what I would like to do is first introduce you to our current president and our newly elected president for the next term. This is Ms. Yinka Awatutu.
Close.
Oh, okay.
It's tough. It's very tough.
This is a tough thing. She's our president, and she's going to give you a few opening remarks.
Thank you. Thanks, Oscar. Great to see everybody here. My name is Yinka Awatutu. And as Oscar mentioned, I've had the pleasure of serving as the president for the past year, and really had an opportunity to get reelected for this upcoming year, so very excited about that. So I'd like to welcome everybody to the event today. A couple days ago, Yvette actually sent an email out to past presidents asking us to think through the accomplishments that we were most proud of or would like to reflect on today. And I was racking my brain and thinking about it, and it really occurred to me that many of the accomplishments that I wanted to cite were not things that I could claim. They were all based on things that other individuals had done. Other individuals, past leaders, past members, had kind of set us up to succeed in those areas over this past year. And I really am very grateful to see so many past leaders and members here in this room that have given so much to the organization and have really helped this organization to be successful. So very excited to see everybody here. I'm excited to be a student today, to learn from the expertise, the talent, and the skills that the past presidents are going to share with us, as well as past members. And hope that we all can learn and take away from this event. So last night we had a fantastic event with our membership appreciation event, and now starting with our founders, past presidents brunch. Very much looking forward to learning from each of you and networking and getting to know each of you as the day continues on. So we'll go ahead and turn it back over to Oscar to continue. Thank you.
Thank you. What I want to do now is introduce Mr. Jesse Ingram. He's going to talk about NSBE Professionals' history. Can you hear that? Oh. Come on up, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah, it's great to see so many familiar faces. It's great to be here this morning in fellowship with the NSBE family. I want to thank Yvette for putting this event together. It's great to be part of an event that kind of recognizes and acknowledges the contributions that past leaders have played in shaping and growing NSBE DC into the premier NSBE Professionals chapter in the United States. Someone once said that history is kind to those who write it. So I want to thank all of you for writing the history of NSBE DC. So we're going to be kind to everybody today, and I want you all to give yourselves a round of applause. So NSBE was founded in 1975 by the Chicago Six on Purdue University's campus, and since that time has grown to over 31,000 members, making it the largest student-run organization in the United States. It's composed of about 250 collegiate chapters, about 100 NSBE junior chapters or pre-collegiate chapters, and about 70 professionals chapters throughout the United States, Canada, Asia, Africa, the Caribbean, England, etc. So its annual meeting has blossomed into an annual convention hosting 8,000 or more persons. So in 1988, NSBE officially adopted the alumni extension concept so that local chapters could be performed by professionals to help support students and foster professional development and advance engineering and science within the community. But before the alumni extension concept could take root, they had to form a regional organization. So NSBE Alumni Extension Region 2 was formed, and that led the way for the formation of the NSBE Washington, D.C. Alumni Extension. At that time, we were called NSBE DC. We've since been rebranded as NSBE Professionals DC, or just NSBE DC for short. So NSBE DC was started in 1989 with more than 20 members. A constitution was drafted and a chapter was officially chartered in 1990, led by Harold Goodridge, its first president. The objectives of NSBE DC have and continue to be the advancement of minority engineers in professional industry, increasing the number of minority students studying engineering at the collegiate and graduate level, stimulating and developing student interests in math, science, computers, and engineering as well, and supporting NSBE and its local DC metropolitan collegiate and student chapters. With members representing Washington, D.C., suburban Maryland, Northern Virginia, NSBE Professionals DC actively pursues the goals of the national organization through the chapter's projects and programs that are implemented and executed throughout the year. Such projects and programs include awarding scholarships, professional development seminars, technical and collegiate roundtable discussions, community service, high school mentoring, STEM workshops with middle school students, and supporting and establishing NSBE junior chapters for the metropolitan area. NSBE DC's success in fulfilling the NSBE mission is reflected in the fact that in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2009, 2012, and 2014, NSBE was awarded the NSBE Chapter of the Year. NSBE DC is recognized as not only one of the largest, but I'll say it again, the premier NSBE Professionals chapter in the nation. As we continue to grow and impact the community, we remain dedicated to fulfilling the mission of the national organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse, for those great words. That was very, exciting to hear that. I actually myself just joined recently, just a couple of years ago, but I have been attending a lot of NSBE events over time, and one of the past presidents, Arthur Ashe, kept encouraging me to join, and I finally did. So, and then he wanted me to get involved, so now I'm really involved in the organization. Next, I would like to have Ms. Yvette Shelby come up. She's going to introduce founders and past presidents who have attended today. And so, come on up, Yvette.
And so one of you guys probably have heard from me recently asking for accomplishments. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because I wanted to hear from all the past presidents, your own words, what you thought your greatest accomplishments were when you were president. And so what I'm going to do is start from the beginning. I'm not going to read what everybody sent me. That was just a ploy to get you guys to remember what your council was. But I'm going to introduce you. I'll have you stand up, introduce yourselves, and then you all say what your greatest accomplishment was. And so I do want to start with Mr. Harold Goodridge, who was the first president of NSBE DC from 1989 to 1990.
Well, the greatest accomplishment is just being in the moment. That's true from a leadership. So leadership is always operating from the heart. Between the heartbeats, that's when we manifest what we want to do as a group, as a collective. So from the beginning, we just went in full force, had no expectations. We just did what we did, and it continues the process.
Thank you. Our our second president was Mark James from 1990 to 1991. He's not here right at this moment, but what we'll do is when he comes in, I'm going to tag him to come up and give his, because he wrote a
Don't
great...
let him.
Don't let him.
Yeah.
See, okay, so, and also, Harold being a founder, Mark also being a founder, Hugh a founder, and Bruce a founder, they really worked together to build a strong foundation so that we could be here 25 years later. And so they have this good camaraderie, so but I'll let Mark still talk.
Okay.
So our third president is Hugh Watkins from 1991 to 1992.
Similar to what Yinka said earlier, when she asked me what's your greatest accomplishment, I thought back 20 years ago, could barely remember it, but it was hard to know what I did versus I was building on the legacy of Harold started, Mark continued, and we started just booming, all of us were working together. So I followed right in line, and I continued to do the same things and build a little bit more. One of my fondest memories is that my year, the National Convention was in New York City, and so we took a strong contingent. We went up there with like 20 people strong. We rented a couple vans or something like that, carpool trips. We all got together, it was like a family, and we took over the New York conference, at least the way I remember it. And to set the tone for really, our DC chapter has always been strong on the national level. We've had officers, chapter, executive board members like Bruce, and all kinds of people have held offices. So kind of said we did a lot of stuff on the local level, but we also were strong on the national level. So I'm just so proud that chapters continue to blossom these 25 years. All right?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Fourth president, who will be coming up twice, but we'll go in order right now, is Bruce Taylor from 1992 to 1993.
It's great to see all the past presidents and see how strong the chapter has continued to be. It's wonderful. When I had my first term as president, probably the thing I remember the most was we did a play at Howard University. In fact, this was not our first time doing a play, but we did a play called Once Upon a Dream with a chapter member, Claire Nelson. She wrote the play. And we also had another member, a good friend of mine, Godfrey Maynor, produced the play. We sold out 2 shows at Howard at the time it was our biggest fundraiser. Lots of fun, got a whole lot of members involved, and so that was something that I remember fondly. Thank you.
Our fifth president was Edward Spriggins from 1993 to 1994. And in digging up some chapter history, I found out that was the year that the first chapter newsletter was published.
Well, that wasn't the first
sorry.
one.
Okay, so I didn't get a response, but throw in, like, if I'm wrong, let me know, and then you can give me the date.
No, he did a fine job, but we had one before that.
Did you? Okay, all right. This is why this is laid back. Okay, so, and I didn't join the chapter until 1997, so I don't know prior to that. After that, I think I'm pretty good. Just saying. Okay, so our sixth president is Sonia Thompson from 1994 to 1995, and the thing that she wanted me to highlight was that they were successful in moving the chapter meetings from the Reeve Center to other corporate sponsored locations. Our seventh president is Erica Lewis, 1995 to 1996, and I might be wrong about this, but I'm just going to read what I have found in chapter history. Is that in her year she was instrumental in establishing the chapter website and the first annual scholarship and awards.
Yes,
banquet.
that's true. That's true.
And so our eighth president was Pamela Bingham, 1996 to 1997. And the big thing that I recall about that year was participating in the Net Day 2000 project, which was wiring DC public schools for the internet. And we actually had done that a couple of years after that as well.
Yeah, we did.
9th President William Goodwin from 1997 to 1998. And what I recall is that was somewhat the beginnings of enhancing the chapter management system or having more people on the board. That's what I recall. I know it got further refined, but either one. The 10th President, Mr. Kevin Huff, 1998 to 1999.
So as Yinka and Hugh mentioned, we built upon the legacies of others. I think that year we saw an increase in participation, we saw an increase in membership, we saw an increase in structure, we actually had business cards, which was very helpful. We also did our first inaugural professional development conference.
That's right.
And so that I look back at that year very fondly, what I can remember. But I thought it set NSBE on a very strong path, and you'll hear in future presidents how they built upon that and even expanded it and refined it even more, Bruce in particular. But it was a fantastic year for me, and I really appreciated that time.
So our 11th president was Mr. Edward Parham, and from 1999 to 2000. And so one of the things that I know was highlighted in the history is doing roundtables, such as transportation roundtables and other professional roundtables, so really enhancing the professional development status of the chapter. Our 12th president is Mr. Bruce Taylor, again from 2000 to 2001. So.
I was having so much fun in leadership learning from the great people at Chapter. I had to do it again. So anyway, so that term, we had a number of restructurings over the years, and then one of the things I remember most, before we started that year, we went through another restructuring, went to more of a zone structure where we had vice president was the head of the program zone, secretary head of communication zone, treasurer head of the finance zone. And so we kind of aligned ourselves more on the structure of the regional and national levels. And what I thought that brought was it gave more leadership responsibility for the elected officers, president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. So it gave more encouragement for wanting to do those positions, gave more of a leadership training, and then as well as I think it gave more focus to those zones. So anyway, it's the first year that we were able to achieve National Chapter of the Year. And we had some great people on the board. I have to mention I was blessed to have a wonderful, wonderful program zone person and also a past president, and that's Zahara, and she's actually going to come up next.
So our 13th president is Ms. Zahara Wooded Pinkett, who, come on, she can. 2001 to 2002.
Good morning. As Bruce mentioned, during his term, he established a zone structure, and so I was actually his vice president, but when I became president, I was able to continue the great work that he did, and so we were able to repeat Chapter of the Year, and I think we also got PCI Program of the Year, the Technologist of the Year, and maybe at least 2 people who went on to national positions. So I think we really set the tone for others to kind of continue in leadership. But one of the other things that I remember most is the fact that we were truly a family, and a lot of the relationships that we established within NSBE AEDC back then, we've continued, and I know I'm very happy to be here, and it's so nice to see so many familiar faces. Thank you.
So our 14th president, Mr. Quentin Washington, from 2002 to 2003.
Thank you. Basically, the thing that I can remember during that time, I tried to continue what those that had come before me had started. I know that we focused on trying to refine how we handled our finances and stuff, and how we track different things. We also established a relationship with Patriot Technology Center, which I'm not certain if we're still connected with them or not, but at that point in time, we helped to assist them with some of the activities that they had, which I guess was the early part.
So it was the U.S. First Robotics?
Yes.
And now you have people in our chapter who actually
That-
run the National Robotics Program at
Exactly, and that was one of the other things. Thank you for mentioning that. And then we also had the honor of having the Tuskegee Airmen. We had an event here in the district, which I mean, I think back on that had an opportunity to take a picture with them. I think back on the fact though that my son was in attendance as well, and he didn't get in the picture, so I mean that still sticks in my mind, but he was there. One of the other things that we looked at is that we continue this family relationship, and I mean I picked Bruce's brain, worked very closely with Zahara, although there were times when you had to rein me in. But I've been kind of a free spirit with some things. But other than that, I mean, it was an enjoyable experience, and I'm happy to have served.
Our 15th president, Mr. Kierham, from 2003 to 2004. Come on up.
So the biggest thing I remember from my year is the year we had a PDC here in DC, and our chapter basically collectively helped organize. That's how we helped plan the PDC and help also implement it. And we got some pretty good support from the chapter members to help us plan the PDC that year in DC. So that's probably one of my biggest major accomplishments. So our chapter basically supporting that event, and also the years we had the chapter first time we did the chapter tennis tournament to help raise money. So it was an effort to basically promote fitness and also promote athleticism, while also raising money for the chapter as well. And I got a lot of support from a lot of people who kind of stepped up, because a lot of people that year, a lot of people they resigned, and a lot of people still kind of left up. A lot of our members, they kind of stepped up in a lot of positions to help fill the leadership void. So I was grateful for people who did that as well. So thank you.
Our 16th president is Mr. Ahmad Barnes from 2004 to 2005, and wanted me to highlight that he was really proud of the fact that during his year they planned and coordinated a walk for education in DC, which was something that was spearheaded as a national program that was done on one specific day around the world. So it was all of the all of the NSBE chapters, and so he was really proud of that effort. Our 17th president, Mr. Charles Britt, from 2005 to 2006, wanted me to relay that the thing that he's most proud of is bringing the chapter out of the red, increasing membership to over 200 members, which helped to raise the funding required to expand the programs, increase membership engagement. Also, we had the first annual Martin Luther King Scholarship Banquet that was initiated under Charles, as well as the first full year partnership with BAE Systems that's still continuing today. Our 18th president, Dr. Barbara Nichols, from 2006 to 2007.
I'd like to say that I came to the presidency like Gerald Ford did, so part of the plan that year was really to submit the work that Charles did the previous year. So one of the things I most accomplished was that Charles started the gala. We had the 15th, his year, and my year. We had the second annual Martin Luther King gala, and we raised over $20,000. So we went from in the red to seriously in the black. So very proud of that. Also that year we won National FaceTime Year for national AE based on member of the year for our corporate student alumni mixers. So.
Our 19th president, Mr. Daryl Harris, from 2007 to 2008. And I know one of the biggest things that we did that year were the chapter aided Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson in crafting the U.S. Congressional Resolution honoring the contributions of past African-American scientists and inventors. And so that was a bill that was passed unanimously in February of 2008. And I'm also proud of that for myself because I did a lot of the research and background writing and that. So that's also one of my things too. So. And then we also had, there were other programmatic things that were, again, enhanced as well, starting from what Charles and Barbara had done and continued forward to even to now. So our 20th president, Ms. Fatima Senghor, 2008 to 2009, if you come right up.
Yeah, so there were a lot of things that we did that I'm really proud of and that I think are highlights, but one of them, we brought the win back home because we felt like we should have had it a few years earlier. So we did get it, and that was exciting, but that was just, that one event, but it was all the hard work that had been done prior, and so we kept that momentum going. One of the things that I think was really wonderful about that year was that we had a full board. And I mean, and it wasn't just old members. We had, I think it was about a 50-50 split. We had brand spanking new members stepping up to take leadership positions, working with members who had been there for a while, and I think that really helped to solidify the leadership that came afterwards because we were able to share that knowledge. And then that also allowed other folks who had already served to go on to the next level to continue with that, so we had a lot of representation on the regional level. And I think that helped to make the chapter stronger as well.
Thank you. Our 21st president, Ms. Rosalina Bray, who was 2009 to 2010. And I think the thing that I'll highlight there is that was actually the first year we were part of the federal combined federal campaign, which is the campaign that federal employees use to raise money. And so we actually started raising money just through random donations from people seeing NSBE DC and wanting to support our mission. And so that was one thing there. Our 22nd president, Mr. Jesse Ingram, 2010 to 2011.
So there are a couple of things that I want to highlight. One is we started the current email marketing that you see today by implementing constant contacts. Before that, we just had like the basic listserv. So we initiated that. We kind of revamped the website, and then in addition to that, we kind of implemented like Facebook and Twitter into social marketing into the website. So those are two things. And the other thing is, for our gala, we hired Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. And I don't think up to that point we had somebody who had, as great a celebrity as he has had. Like I saw him last week on some of the Sunday morning news shows, and I saw him at the Congressional Black Congress. Well, anyway, when you hire somebody like that, they're not cheap. So what a lot of people don't know is it was definitely risk, and there was some attention, among the board in terms of hiring Dr. Michael Eric Dyson and spending all of this money for that guy. And in order to make it work, we needed to have 200 people show up to the banquet, else we're going to lose money. And probably 2 weeks before it was time for the banquet, we had 100 people signed up. So what a lot of people don't know is I had planned to call a meeting like this with you past presidents and beg you for some money. I'm serious, because we were about to lose money. And I had my vice president telling me, like, hey, Jesse, what's going on? And I kept saying, don't worry. I was might sound bad. I say, you know how we are. We're going to come at the last minute. And sure enough, we did. That's right, because we ended up with 203 people at the banquet. It turned out to be very successful. People had a great time. We raised a lot of money. I think we raised over $25,000 in corporate contributions and personal contributions that year. And to my knowledge, is like the second largest attendance we've had at the banquet, second only to Fatima's banquet. I think she had like 220 people with Randall. With Randall, with Howard's husband is. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. I will bring up our 23rd president and 24th because of. So come on up, Arthur Edge, 2011 to 2012, and 2012 to 2013.
So I think when I became president, everybody was very concerned because I was very young when I had stepped into the role. But one of the accomplishments that I think we achieved was related to that, and really trying to think about in the chapter, how do you bridge and do programming and work together across the generations? And we made a lot of mistakes in trying to do that, but I can definitely see where the successes of the later presidents after me have been able to build on that. So I'm really proud of that. Also, we looked at the strategy a bit and said, you know, a lot has been done in the past, but where do we want to go moving forward? And we saw we really needed to professionalize the organization in terms of operations a lot more. And so we got a Google grant that allowed us to build a new IT infrastructure inside, and that really helped a lot with knowledge transfer, because you're always calling up past presidents saying, where's that spreadsheet? How many people did you bring to this? Who's that contact? They helped a lot in that area. And then for programming, we did a lot of piloting of new programming, just trying to see what stick. And one of the example was piloting the first executive mentoring program that we had in the chapter, and then launching in my second year the entrepreneurship conference, which now has become a staple program. And that's it. Yeah. Thanks.
So okay, I messed up my number, sorry. Our next president is Talani Banjo.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, good. Thank you. Come on up 2013 to 2014.
So first, I want to just thank all of you guys, past presidents. I know being here and seeing all these faces that I have not seen before is really inspiring, because when I stepped up to be president, I wasn't sure if I should do it. You know, Arthur kind of tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, you know, you should do it. So I just want to thank all of you guys for laying the groundwork for me to kind of do what I did during my year as president. The biggest accomplishment that we had actually started with a proposal that Rosalina Bray wrote, I want to say a couple years prior, and that was the implementation of the first Girls of STEM conference. It was a conference where we were focused on getting our underrepresented and underprivileged girls in the DC community, a conference specifically for them, to get them interested in science, technology, engineering, and math. So we had a great team. Put that together. We got money from the national level. We got money from the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. So it was a great conference. We had over 80 girls come. We had workshops from Best Buy. We had a workshop from IT WizKids. Our PCI committee did a workshop. So that was like one of the biggest accomplishments that we had last year. Thanks.
So I'll have our, I'm missing the last, so I'll have Mark. Okay. Mark, come on up, because we missed you. And you as a second president. So just do a quick introduction, and then we'll introduce future president.
Don't let him read that.
Quick.
that's right. So she wanted to read it. Yeah, there we go. Say,
Okay.
The main thing I was talking about, I had written about this, which I could have talked about, was that when we started in that library, the first three of us, and trying to figure out how we're going to do it, a lot of us just winging it and trying to perpetrate like we were a real chapter. And so what we did is we focused a lot on style over substance, which was just something I just abhorred when I was an engineer. But you realize when you're trying to start something entrepreneurial, that's what you had to do. So what I'm most proud of is a lot of the groundwork we laid to be able to ensure we could set this framework up to keep going. And that was just a merging between the four of us, getting together, trying to make sure we could join the Coalition of Black Professional Organizations. Even though we only had 4 to 10 people, we're sitting in that organization with all these very established, well-established National Black MBAs, the Medical Society, Accounting Society. So those are the things that I'm most proud of, that we were able to convince folks that we were a legitimate organization, let them join everything we could, so that here we are 25 years later.
To bring up our current president, our outgoing president and incoming president, so 25th president, Yinka Ajiro Tutu. And so this 2014 to 2015, and now 2015 to 2016, and she was really the one that had the idea to really celebrate 25 years. And so I'll let her finish.
Thanks, Yvette. So this has been amazing. I mean, I've just been sitting here and it's almost like a puzzle. We're able to put the pieces together based off of all the different activities that you all have developed and really cultivated for our organization. So thank you for that. As Yvette mentioned, this was a vision, a dream, I think, that many members had, many board members had, including myself. And it's so great to see everybody here. Honestly, I think our biggest accomplishment is this. It's truly the 25th anniversary activities and being able to bring so many wonderful people together to celebrate everything that's been done over the last 25 years. And then also ending the event by being able to give over $15,000 in scholarships to students. It's just outstanding. So.